Hey Canucks fans, welcome to the line change. I wanted to go over something that's been making the rounds lately. I know I'm late to the party on this, so excuse that. But what's been making the rounds lately is the idea of the Canucks targeting Steven Stamkos. But before we dive into that, I want to quickly give a shout out and thank you to my sponsor, GasJack Art, maker of this amazing artwork you see behind me, and you guys can check them out yourselves at gasjackart.com. I believe he still has his buy two get two free sale going on, so go ahead, take advantage of that while you can. Once again, it's gasjackart.com. Go ahead, check him out. He's got some great stuff, and I absolutely love supporting his artwork. It's amazing, just the attention to detail that he does. But let's talk about Steven Stamkos, shall we? First off, my initial thoughts and reaction to hearing about this absolutely reeks of desperation. This is a desperation idea, in my opinion. Stamkos is 35 years old, and currently he has 2 points in 14 games. 1 goal, 1 assist in 14 games. And this is Steven Stamkos we're talking about. You know, the guy who's lit it up in the NHL for 16 years now. He's only got 2 points in 14 games. Not only that, he's also a -6 so far this year. So right away, those numbers don't jump out at me at all. Last year with the Preds, his first of a 4-year deal with the Predators that he signed, a $32 million deal at a $8 million AAV. He had 53 points in 82 games, 27 goals, 26 assists. So that doesn't really scream to me Steven Stamkos. He obviously had a down year his first year in Nashville, obviously with that whole, thing with Tampa at the tail end of his time in Tampa. There was all that crap with him and re-signing and whatnot, and Tampa kind of giving him the short end of the stick. Not to mention, and I just found this out while doing my research for this topic, since the 2022-2023 season, he's been a minus in the plus-minus category. Yeah, I went and looked back at his plus-minus. He's been a -5 in 2022-23, a -21 in 23-24, despite him having 81 points and scoring 40 goals. He was still a -21. And then last year, his first year with Nashville, he was a -36. And then this year, he's a -6, as we mentioned. A lot of people I know don't really look at plus-minus, but still, seeing that, it kind of jumps off the page at me going like, uh-oh, like, The only thing that really stands out to me positive for Stamkos, at least this season and for his career, is his face-off percentage, which is a 54.4% this year, and his career average is 50.4. So he's pretty good at the face-off dot. So, and that's exactly what I feel like the Canucks are lacking right now. It's what they need. Like, yes, the Canucks have Aatu Räty, who's by far their best face-off guy right now. But Räty is very young. And actually, if you want to get into numbers, and they've been lacking face-off, a bona fide face-off guy since Heedle's been out. Now, PD's obviously been struggling in the face-off dot. And as I mentioned, Räty right now is their guy for the face-offs. And right now, Räty is actually at a 56.3% in the face-off dot this season, and his career average is 56.6. So he's actually better than Stamkos at face-offs, like career-wise, and so far this year, at least according to NHL.com. So as I said, he's slightly above Stamkos. So do you really even need Stamkos for face-offs? Or do you just roll with Räty, considering he's, as I said, much younger and obviously will get even better as his career, goes along? Or maybe he won't. We don't know. But I mentioned Heedle, and I want to touch on Heedle real quick, as I've been meaning to talk about him. It's been 2 weeks now since he got injured in that game against the Capitals and that hit by Tom Wilson. We've heard absolutely nothing in regards to his condition, his health, like an update or anything like that. At least I haven't heard anything. Let me know in the comments if I may have missed something, but I haven't really seen anything about Hedel and how he's doing and whatnot. And it's been 2 weeks. And he's been out that long. And he was put on the active to but even then, that was like October 20th. It's now November 4th. And we haven't heard anything from management about him. So I don't really understand that. But perhaps this might be why the Canucks are looking desperate. Because maybe they know something we don't know in regards to Hedel. Perhaps this pertains to Hedel, and that's why they have inquired with the Predators about Stamkos, as mentioned in this article, which I'm going to bring up right now, because I just found this as well. Canucks believed to have inquired about Steven Stamkos. This article is from the Pro Hockey Rumors, so take it with a grain of salt, as always. But it says here the Canucks have long been searching for extra help down the middle, a need amplified by the latest injury to Filip Hedel. To that end, Rick Dhaliwal of Czech and The Athletic recently reported that he has been told that Vancouver has kicked the tires on Predators forward Steven Stamkos. And then obviously it talks about Stamkos and what he's done, but it also brings this up too. Stamkos has a full no-move clause in his contract. Obviously that means even if the two teams agreed on something, he would have to okay it, and he would have to be willing to waive his no-move clause. I don't know if Stamkos would want to do that or not, or if he would even want to come to Vancouver. But obviously he might, get an uptick in offensive play if he were to maybe come to Vancouver. But that also brings up the Vancouver's salary cap situation. It's pretty tight. They're nearly $2.8 million into LTIR per Puckpedia. That means that the Canucks would need to match money to make a move work, something that could be mitigated in part by Nashville retaining salary. And a lot of people have been saying, and I've been seeing it, that Nashville needs to retain at least half of his salary, so 50% of his salary, in order for them to even entertain the move. But at the same time, what are you giving up to do that? And would Nashville even do it? Because it says right here, they only have one retention slot remaining this season, having already utilized two of them on Ekholm and Colton Sissons. Considering his value has dropped considerably, does it make sense to use that last slot, retaining several millions of dollars a year for multiple seasons, to elicit what would likely be a middling return? And we also don't know what they would want for him, or what we would have to give up in order to get them to retain. Or would they be better off saving that last slot for someone else this season and revisiting the idea over the summer? So I just wanted to bring that up. But let's get back to Hedel real quick here. But as I mentioned, we've heard nothing about Hedel, and this might be why the Canucks might be getting desperate. I've made it known, at least if you've caught my post-game shows, I'm not optimistic about Hedel coming back at this point. I'm really not, and that's just based off of how we haven't heard anything. And when I see something like that, it's probably not good, or else I'm sure they would have wanted to, quell the rumors and people saying like, "Oh, Hedel's done." They really want to quell that, and they haven't. So, as I said, we've not really heard anything, especially with guys like Hughes, who is now obviously after last night's game, is back. So thank goodness Quinn Hughes is back. Garland's still out. Lekkerimäki's still out. Mancini, Bluger, all out. I do know Garland and Bluger are expected back soon, possibly even this week, maybe even next week. So we've gotten updates on them, and they got hurt, with the exception of Bluger, after Hedel, and still nothing on Hedel. Like, I really just don't understand. But yeah, nothing, nada, zilch about Hedel in the last 2 weeks. I do not understand that. So in my opinion, something's up. Do you guys think, like me, Hedel could be done and the lack of updates maybe supports it, as well as them inquiring about Stamkos and Desperation kicking in for the Canucks as they prepare for what very well could be a nightmare November schedule, especially if, they don't get Garland or Bluger back, which I'm sure they will within at least a week. But still, it's a nightmare November schedule for the Canucks that they're, prepping for. But I want to hear from you, Canucks fans. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you guys agree Hedel might be done? Or what are you guys' thoughts on this whole Stamkos thing? Personally, as I said, I'm not really a fan of it. Stamkos is 35 years old, and you don't want him for 4 years, even if it's at 50%. It just doesn't work for me. Stamkos isn't really the same Stamkos of old. He's kind of gone down since being traded to Nashville. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find and interact with us on social media. We're pretty much everywhere on social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. And if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review. It's, of course, greatly appreciated. And it really helps out the podcast, especially on Spotify. But that's going to do it for me. As always, let's go Canucks. And I'll see you guys in the next video.